Pantheon presents
25, look, PPL is here. My favorite time of year. Blood, sweat, and tears dripping all over the gear. Yeah, NFL is back, so is PPL. Let the game get started. Time to see who will prevail. Yeah, the wait is over. Yeah, it's time for fantasy. It's time to draft and build a team that's capable to win the ring. As the GAFF attack back to back and try to get them free. He's chilling on the throne where everybody wants to be. Yeah, we all want the money. Everybody pay the fee. For me, I'm trying to win it just to brag about my team. Everybody wants to ring, but it ain't easy to achieve it. But believe it when I say it, feels so good when you receive it. Yeah, PPL is back, and the other league is whack. You can say I'm talking smack, now I'm only speaking fact. Every week we got the live show, each year we got a nice flow. The others they can see us like they're playing with their eyes closed. PPL we ride, PPL we live, PPL we high, we the best you can't deny. Welcome to the live show, life be like the sideshow. You know and I know that PPL's a war zone, 100-yard battlefield, helmets as a battle shield. PPL we're back for real, time to draft and make a deal. Alpha versus Omega, battle with the fantasy, a game of intelligence, sacrifice and strategy.
PPL Live, Week 11. We are here for the end of the season. It is almost time for the climax. Who will win the Alpha and Omega conferences? But before we find that out, let's jump into our Week 10 scores. Starting with the Argonauts, leaving no doubt in a big victory over the Skulls, 151 to the Skull 77. Killer Kev does it again in a big win. Devon Achane with 40 points. Down squad underestimated, brings it back to life, 124 to 88. Patty's Twins behind a league record from Jonathan Taylor. Get it done over the United Players, 143 to 85. I need about Trey Fitty, needed that win and got it. Thanks to Drake London and Breece Hall, 126 to the Chiefless Boss, 107. And Appease the Gods, gets it done when he has to. Miracle on Monday denied. Prestige matchup goes to Appease the Gods. Can the champ stay alive? 120 to 118. Hey man, this week was topsy-turvy, defining week in the PPL. A lot of great victories, nothing bigger than that one in the Prestige matchup, man. What did you think of that?
I mean, I love this week. It was really some separation in Omega. We're starting to see things gel in Alpha.
Right.
I think that we're seeing a shakeup going on over there. So I think in both conferences we're gonna be entertained down the stretch.
No, definitely, man. But before we get into this new week, let's take one more eye back at that entertainment with the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right, man, let's hear it, man. I know that this was a topsy-turvy week. I've been waiting to hear it all week, man. Let's hear the good, bad, and ugly for week 10.
Yeah, week 10 good has to go to Patty's Twins for me. When I saw how they handed the UP, what Jonathan Taylor's putting together, her patience in staying there. Lions went out and took care of business on the coach. It just was nothing but good here.
Yeah.
And they're putting themselves in great position for a strong playoff run. I think right now, week 10 going into week 11, Patty's Twins are the best and most complete team in the PPL.
That's saying a lot, man. Let me hear your bad.
Bad. I mean, there's only one contender. Squad underestimated.
Oh, no.
These guys got smoked. I mean, let's call it what it is. This was a 40-point smashing, and not just that. Killer Cat swept. Squad underestimated here. I mean, these guys are 7-3. I mean, let them be fortunate that there's not another. But hey, Killer Kev, get in the playoffs. You might be a squad killer.
Right.
We're seeing a sophomore slump with Bo Nix.
Okay.
That whole Denver regime right now is looking on unstable ground. Puka's starting to get vultured a little bit.
Okay. He's
going heavy Denver too. He's got 3 guys in the lineup. Brock Bowers didn't deliver. I mean, amazing talent, but we see what's going on around him. I'm not confident there. It was not a good week. They lost ground. Guys at the bottom of the conference were coming up and they're hungry, and I think squad's probably feeling a bit nervous right now, and which is interesting because they're 7-3.
Right.
But people are coming for them.
Okay, and man, if that's your bad, let me hear your ugly.
Well, I mean, you know, the GAFF is a 2-time defending Pantheon Cup champ, and again, just could not get over the hump here. I thought going into that Monday night matchup, he had a cakewalk. It turns out Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown can only account for about what his kicker did. What I saw here though is again, GAFF just outsmarted themselves. I mean, what did he do Sunday morning? He swapped out his coach.
Yeah.
This guy had Rams coach one-handedly. We're out early in that game. It wasn't really in doubt for most of it.
Right.
Went for the Panthers that, I mean, just laid an egg. I mean, Gino, we're talking before the show. I mean, this guy traded Matthew Stafford for
Bryce Young.
I mean, just insult to injury. When you look at his lineup last week, every player won, except for the coach.
Yikes.
So it was just not a game he could afford to lose. Appease the gods for what they did. A pretty, I mean, good week on their behalf. But I mean, the GAF's been scoring 120, no problem, and so he's going to feel this loss, and I'm sure is going into next week knowing he ain't in must-win territory just yet. But the GAF and Skulls and UP, a good team's going to get left out, and he's trying to make that not happen. But it was ugly this week.
No, man, definitely ugly week for the GAF, and I would argue that he is in must-win territory already. My good man is going to be the underlings of the Alpha Conference. They really helped close the gap this week. I'm looking at Trey Fitty with a huge upset over Only for the Boss, 126-107. Drake London had a really good game, man. Romo Dunze really bounced back from that 0. You said you had some concerns about that. Rome put those to rest with a really good game, and I thought Trey Fitty did a good job there. And also, we got to talk about it. Killer Kev looked great. Devon Achane, one of the better trades of the season that has been won. Achane's been awesome for Killer Kev all season, really led the way for them. And Jackson Smith and Jigma, you just know that he's going to get his, and he's like a harbinger of doom. Jameson Williams filled in good for Killer Kev, and he looked great. So I thought Killer Kev, as another underling in the Alpha Conference, did well. And then obviously the Argonauts leaving no doubt behind Trey McBride and Igbuka and Kyron Williams in a big interconference game to keep themselves in pace. So if they're my bad has got to be the top of the Alpha Conference. Both Squad Underestimated and Only for the Boss slipping this week. Squad, even more so, I would say, is bad for him because Only for the Boss, we kind of expected that they might take a step back without their Chiefs in the lineup. But Squad Underestimated obviously could have gapped out on Only for the Boss as well if they could have got that win. And it really slowed them down, obviously getting swept by a team beneath them in the Alpha Conference. So that's my bad. And my ugly is the underlings of Omega. We talked about the GAF struggles, obviously, but hey, he did what he could to stay in it. Just was unlucky at the end there. But I'm looking at the United play as the Destroyers, man. 85 points without their top 3 wide receivers in the lineup due to the bye. They're really starting to lose ground in the Omega Conference, and it could get really ugly before long. And then obviously the Skulls, they didn't have Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. That really slowed their scoring down, and obviously Josh Allen struggled big time, and they had the league low that week, so that was my ugly. But as I always say, what's past is prologue. It's time to get to week 11. It's time to get to the next step. It's time to go into our first matchup of the week. And we start with a big one in the Omega Conference between both of these teams. An elimination game for both of these teams. It's kind of crazy because this was the Pantheon Cup last year. We got a big one here in Omega. We got the GAF Attack taking on the Skulls. All right, man, I basically laid it out. It looks like one of these teams can end the other season again this year. Both of these teams, I would say this is damn near a playoff game, man. What do you think of this one, GAF Skulls?
I think we see exactly what you said, proposed, and I think it goes exactly the same way that it went in the Pantheon Cup.
Okay.
I think the GAF gets this matchup. As I'm looking at the other side with the Skulls, what's going on with Josh Allen in Buffalo? I'm not sure. Denver, we just talked about. I think that's going to be a tough game against Kansas City. Cincinnati, I'm not really trusting against Pittsburgh. And again, Romeo Doubs, the Panthers D, he doesn't have a lineup completely set, so it's really hard for me to have confidence in them. And again, maybe that is showing the management's attitude to where they are in this season. GAF on the other side goes out and gets the Patriots coach right away, which tells me they're in position. This team has high scoring potential, and I think that they get right this week.
Okay.
I've got the GAF going 127 to the Skulls 105.
All right. Oh man. You know what? I'm almost tipped to go the other way here, and I think I am going to go the other way. I think that the Skulls getting Jamar Chase and Chase Brown back is going to be huge for their lineup. I think Zay Flowers is also going to be in for a good matchup, as well as Josh Allen. I'm expecting to bounce back big. Now on the GAFF side, I do expect them to continue to score at a decent pace, but I'm always a little iffy on Thursday night guys. They got 3 Thursday night guys in the lineup here. I know that it should be a lot safer against the Jets, but let's just say that the Patriots don't come out on fire and that slows down the GAFF scoring. I think that makes an opening for the Skulls. But I do love the fact that the GAFF gets to close with CeeDee Lamb. But I mean, I don't even know how he can trust AJ Brown anymore after watching that Monday night game. AJ's on X talking about if you have me, you need to get rid of me. It's a lot of bad vibes coming out of there. I think that the GAFF may need to look at that. And I think that the Skulls just have a few unknowns at kicker and head coach. They might be able to come out and shock the GAFF here. I'm going to take the upset and say the Skulls avenge Pantheon Cup from last year and get a big one. I got the Skulls getting this one somehow, 121 to the GAFF's 115. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into the Alpha Conference for a big one between both of these teams. Killer Kev has found himself into the relevancy of the PPL. He takes on one of real relevance, only for the boss. All right, man, big one here, only for the boss. Obviously gets his Chiefs back. James Cook got shut down last week, but Devontae Adams has become a revelation on that Rams team. Killer Kev obviously coming off of a huge statement win over Swat in the estimated. This one should be really, really good. The projections are really tight. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're seeing two teams that had surprising outcomes last week. And everything in me is telling you that Killer Kev should have an amazing week. He's got Green Bay, who should bounce back against the Giants.
Right.
We just fired a coach. I mean, you should be salivating. You talked about Achane. We talked about it's all primed.
Right.
When I look at this, though, it's about betting on the Broncos versus Kansas City. And as of right now, I'm betting on KC.
Okay.
I like only for the Bosses Chiefs to do what they do. I think Buffalo and Tampa Bay has the potential to be a high-scoring affair. And again, Devontae Adams, I think, is starting to get more of the target share out there.
Absolutely.
I think that the Chiefs ultimately win that matchup. And I think that what we end up seeing is one of the more entertaining matchups of the week.
Yeah.
And it takes a leave no doubt performance from only for the boss to take down Killer Kev. I've got him going 148 to Killer Kev's 141.
That man, I hope we do see something like that, but I think I'm gonna go the other way here, man. I think that the Packers offense is going to have to bounce back against a porous New York Giants defense. And I think that he's got the two guys that are obviously going to be the catalyst of that. Achane gets a huge match. I mean, this is just a beautiful matchup. The man is projected for darn near 25 this week, which is a ridiculous projection. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to have to play big for them to have a chance against the Rams. The only thing I don't like for Killer Kev is that I think that he should probably get somebody else in the flex, put Jameson Williams at the receiver too, and go with that. But I think that he's probably not going to go Denver coach. We know that he likes to switch things up a little late. I think he gets off to a good start with that Patriots D. I think that game might be a little more defensive, as I said before. And I got Killer Kev pulling an upset. Maybe that, and like I said, I think that Denver game gets is low scoring. I got Killer Kev finding a way and making a huge statement in here and potentially making himself a play for the Alpha Conference title, perhaps. I got Killer Kev getting this one 119 to only for the Bosses 116. And moving on to our next matchup, we go back into the Omega Conference for a big one between both of these teams. The first place team in the Omega Conference showed it in the prestige matchup of the week. They got to keep the momentum going. Can they do it against this team that is teetering on downfall? We got the United Players, the Destroyers, taking on Appease the Gods. All right, man, pace algorithm is in full effect right now. Since the trade, ATG has been looking pretty darn good. They've gotten a lot of production from that trade. Nico Collins, Rico Dowdle, Nico and Rico really leading the way for ATG. Obviously, on the UP side, they're going to have to get that lineup set. They got their 3-star receivers coming back, man. This should be a really good one. Some fireworks. United Players, Appease the Gods.
Yeah, I mean, and let's talk about what happened when these teams first met. I mean, Appease the Gods was 3-0, and they absolutely got stopped by the UP, who basically doubled them up. What I will say is different is, you mentioned it, the Appease the Gods team has a much different composition than it did earlier in the season,
right?
Through the trade, and I think what really hurts the UP here is he's been really relying on Daniel Jones's play. When he didn't play last week at an elite level, he got the L. And I just don't know if we're going to see that from Jared Goff in Philadelphia.
Right.
I do see that the wide receivers coming in, this should make this more competitive. But I like where RTG's treading right now. I think that he's got better matchups. I mean, he's certainly facing a lot of road games, but I think in most cases these defenses are porous. Atlanta, Tennessee, Minnesota, I mean, is one of the tougher ones. So, I mean, Caleb Williams, I think, is going to be coming back too, trying to avenge a week 1 loss against Minnesota,
right?
Especially with how that happened. I think ATG follows suit and gets a leave no doubt performance, or not a leave no doubt, but a lock of the week.
Okay.
I've got ATG winning this one comfortably, 134 to the UP's 113.
All right, man. This is a tough one here. I think this was going to be very, very close, but I'm going to side here with you on this one. I think Appease the Gods finds a way to get it just based on attention to detail. When I look at this matchup, the one thing that it worries me on ATG side is kind of that Steelers D. Cincinnati put up a lot of points on that defense last time they played. Joe Flacco is no stranger to the Steelers, and I think that might be something that they want to look at. But I'm looking at the United player side. They got Rams D in against Seattle, so I mean that probably will even out. What I'm looking at here, though, is for the United players is that 3 wide receiver set, man. If they get Pickens, Rashee Rice, and T. Higgins in there, it can be a really, really tough matchup. Now, obviously, he can't play all 3 because he's probably going to want to leave Jalen Waddle in. So it'll be interesting to see whether they go with Jared Goff. If they do try to go with Jared Goff, I think that's what's going to help appease the gods. I think that Jared's got a really tough matchup at Philadelphia. He doesn't play quite as well outside of the dome. So it's going to be interesting to see what the United players do there. But I'm looking at Caleb Williams, man. He's playing a defense that's going to leak points for him. I think that he is in for a big bounce back. He's healthy. His guys are all healthy, and they should be ready to go. I think David Montgomery should have a pretty good game. The pendulum tends to swing back and forth between him and Jahmyr Gibbs. This week, I think, is David Montgomery's turn. And Rico's just looking like that dude in Carolina. I mean, he went and snatched dude's job. It's ridiculous. Ted McMillan and Nico Collins are target hogs. I'm a little worried about Cortland Sutton there, but hey, that's a guy that ATG has been loyal to for a long time. At the end of the day, I think ATG finds a way to get by in this one and wins it. I think it's a little more low scoring, though. I got ATG getting this one 119 to the United players 99. And moving on to our next matchup, we go into a big one in the Alpha Conference. Trey Fitty all of a sudden has a little bit of momentum. Can they keep it going against the Argonauts in a big matchup in Alpha? All right, man, the Argonauts come into this matchup 5-5, have just left no doubt. Looking like they're ready to turn it on in the second half of the season as they have many years before. Obviously, they got Trey Fitty sitting here who has won their last matchup, upsetting only for the boss, and have some intriguing young players on their team. What do you think of this matchup, man?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a sign of life last week from Trey Fitty. I think that down the stretch, I mean, they're going to embrace that spoil sport kind of role.
Right.
Perfect matchup here with the Argos, who are, again, right on the edge of making that competitive down the stretch. And I just don't see, with the current lineup, him being able to get the Argos. I don't like J.J. McCarthy against Chicago. Okay. I mean, he may do decent there, but I think that I would probably be going Justin Fields at New England. That being a more appealing matchup. J.J. McCarthy, I just think, has a ceiling.
Okay.
Drake London, like, he is getting fed this season. Or Doomsday kind of came back online. The Ravens at Cleveland, I think that's a trap game in my eyes.
Okay.
The Ravens should get out of there, but those divisional matchups, are not as, I think, enticing. And he's gone to that well with the Ravens the last few weeks, been a huge beneficiary. We'll see if that bounces back. I love the Argo lineup. again, from the trade, I like that Lamar and Bijan haven't really exploded just yet, and I think that this poses an enticing matchup.
Okay.
Carolina losing a very winnable game last week and frankly got manhandled. He's got guys with high ceiling scoring potential, and again, I think that the Cowboys coach against Las Vegas, that to me is going to be boom or bust. That game's either going to be really competitive or the Cowboys should run away with it.
Yeah.
But Las Vegas is terrible, so I've got the Argos winning this matchup in pretty similar fashion to when these guys met in week 2. I've got the Argo winning 127 to I need about Trey Fitty's 116.
All right, man. I'm with you here. I agree. I like some of what Trey Fitty's doing. J.J. McCarthy, though, he just has not quite gotten what I think Trey Fitty may have expected from him so far. Now, he had 13 and 15 the last 2 weeks that Trey Fitty has gone with him, but it hasn't been anything spectacular. What I do like about what Trey Fitty's got, though, is that a lot of his guys connect with a lot of the Argonaut guys. J.J. McCarthy with Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson with the Ravens coach, kicker and D. If Lamar doesn't put it in the end zone, those are points for Trey Fitty. That could work out well in his favor. I also like the fact that he's got Drake London and Kyle Pitts against Bijan Robinson. So there's places where, and then, well, obviously Harrison actually is out. But I would say he had Harrison against Trey McBride, too. So it could have got really intertwined, which would have made this matchup even more interesting. That's why I think it's going to be very, very close. This is not a matchup that the Argonauts can take lightly. I think they find a way to squeak by. I got the Argonauts actually getting this one 131 to Trey Fitty's 127. And moving on to our prestige matchup of the week. A big interconference one here. We don't normally go interconference for the prestige matchup, but this one was too good to pass up. We got a big one here between both of these teams. We got Patty's Twins taking on Squad Underestimated. All right, man, we got the Twins in this one, tied for first place in Omega against Squad Underestimated, who sits atop the Alpha Conference right now, man. What do you think of this one? Twins coming in, no Jonathan Taylor after that huge week he had last week, coming up against the Squad team. It looks like he's got all his guys ready to go. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I would say Squad's fortunate that this is landing when Jonathan Taylor's not in the lineup. If he was in this lineup, I don't have Squad winning this at all. I think still, even without him in the lineup, he's going to be facing a Patty Twins team that I think has go-off potential.
Okay.
I mean, it starts with Justin Herbert at Jacksonville. To me, that game just speaks to the over.
Okay.
And so I think that what they've shown throughout this season, both of these teams, is high scoring potential. I think that the Twins have a low projected total because Taylor's not in the lineup, but I don't think that that's really going to factor. I think that they play. She's got some studs. When I look at Squad on the other side, again, he's making some changes. I mean, he's going with Dak at Vegas instead of Bo Nix. He's not touching that matchup. Probably smart there.
Right.
One of the things I like that he did this week. He has to go Saquon. Christian is getting fed no matter what.
Exactly.
Puka, even though he's not getting it, I think is still a solid call. And Brock Bowers has been a huge addition back into this. I love the Texans coach at Tennessee. I think that they're in position, and we're saying it doesn't matter if Stroud ain't there. David Mills is going to be throwing the ball.
Right.
He outperformed what I think he was going to do.
Right.
I think that again, the Taylor is the X factor to me, and if with him out of this, I think that the Squad ekes by.
Okay.
I think that he gets this matchup 130 to Patty's Twins 126.
I'm with you, man. I mean, we're back on that Squad Underestimated train despite them laying that egg last week. I'm looking at Dak on Monday night. I think that he's in for a huge game. The Cowboys are going to be playing with a lot of emotion after losing the young man to the tragic situation that happened last week. I expect the Cowboys to come out and play with a lot of passion and a lot of heart, and they're going to want to win that game for a teammate whose last game was also on a Monday night game. So look out for Dallas to come out big, and Dak's the heartbeat. They go as he goes, and I think he's going to have a really big game. Saquon, man, it's not looking quite the same, and I don't think he's going to have that great of a game against Detroit either. I think he gets slowed down, but Christian and Puka are going to get fed their routes. I'm not as impressed with squad at the flex or at the wide receiver too. And Brock Bowers does get Dallas, and he's going to be able to eat on some garbage, I believe. But on the Twins side, I think they have actually more revenues for scoring than squad, and that's why I think that I'm going to go. Actually, I'm going the other way. I like Justin Herbert's matchup. You said it screams the over. The Twins can actually check Dak in 2 positions with Javonte Williams and Jake Ferguson. And I think George Kittle, he's a Cardinal killer. He loves to play the Cardinals. Tess Johnson is a great wide receiver to play as a wild card in the flex. And Amon Ra, we know what he's going to do. Chargers D, I think, is going to get some turnovers. I don't know about Lions coach. That's a little bit more tricky, but I just like where the Twins are at. I think that the Twins do find a way to actually pull this as an upset without JT. I got the Twins finding a way to get this one 131. The squad underestimate is 129. All right, PPLers, thanks for another great week of PPL Live. I hope you guys enjoy. We are in the home stretch. We are about to crown our new Alpha and Omega Conference champs. Find out who get that 1 and 2 seed and get that bye in the playoffs. Hope you guys are enjoying the season. Good luck, have a good weekend, and may the odds be ever in your favor.